You have been fed a profound falsehood about the nature of rest. While most view rest as surrender, the most formidable individuals perceive it as a method for sharpening their edge. Consider this. Every top-tier athlete, every high-achieving executive, and every person who seems to succeed with ease shares a common secret. Their distinction is not in how they labor. It is in how they recuperate. This is the undisclosed truth. Intentional rest does not foster indolence. It cultivates a strategic advantage. When you grasp the art of genuine restoration, you do not simply regain energy. You amplify it. Society has conditioned us to see rest as the antithesis of productivity. This is as illogical as claiming the silence between musical notes is the opposite of music. The silence is an integral part of the composition. Adopting the mindset of a strategic rester changes your entire approach. Instead of wondering how you can work longer, you begin to ask how you can rest so effectively that your work becomes effortless. Your rivals are driving themselves to burnout, while you're engineering superior performance through calculated recovery. They are engaged in a simple game. You are playing at a master's level. This approach is not about avoiding effort. It is about achieving maximum impact. When you master rest, you not only improve your well-being, you operate at a capacity that others find unattainable. Chapter 1. Why you are tired after 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of poor sleep is equivalent to 8 hours of practicing a skill incorrectly. You're simply reinforcing a flawed pattern. You have been led to believe that the quantity of sleep is what matters most. Yet the truth that changes everything is this. The architecture of your sleep holds far more importance than its total length. Sleep unfolds in recurring cycles of light, deep, and REM stages. Each complete cycle lasts approximately 90 minutes. If your awakening interrupts a deep sleep phase, you will feel profoundly depleted, even after a full 8 hours. The National Sleep Foundation assesses sleep quality using 12 distinct metrics, with duration being only one of them. Elite performers do not merely sleep more. They sleep with greater intelligence. They recognize that a single perfect sleep cycle offers more restorative value than 3 fragmented ones. Your body operates like a high-performance vehicle. It requires not just any fuel, but the correct type of fuel delivered at the optimal time. The factors that truly count are sleep consistency, your sleep environment, your pre-sleep routine, and a wake-up time that synchronizes with your natural cycles. By optimizing these elements, you can feel more rejuvenated after 6 hours of high-quality sleep than after 8 hours of disorganized sleep. The strategic rester does not count hours. They engineer cycles. They do not pursue quantity. They master quality. This single shift in focus, from an obsession with duration to the optimization of architecture, can revolutionize your energy levels in a matter of days. Chapter 2. The 13% Secret. 30 seconds possesses the power to reshape your entire day. Scientists have made a significant discovery. Brief, strategic micro breaks can improve focus by 13% and cut mental fatigue in half. These are not hour-long intermissions or even 5-minute pauses. They are 30-second breaks. The crucial detail lies not in the break itself, but in what transpires during it. Most people treat breaks as if they are pausing a film, remaining mentally in the same context. Strategic resters, however, use breaks to completely change their mental channel. The transformation occurs through a process known as attention restoration. Your brain possesses 2 systems of attention. Directed attention is used for concentrated work. Effortless attention is activated when you observe nature, listen to music, or do something genuinely calming. This is the method. Every 25 minutes, take 30 seconds to gaze out a window, perform 3 deep breaths, or simply close your eyes to reset. Your directed attention is renewed, while your brain's default mode network, the seat of creativity, is engaged. The outcome is that you return to your task with fresh cognitive resources, not depleted ones. Your subsequent 25-minute work period is not a battle against weariness. It is a sprint powered by full energy reserves. While others struggle through a mental haze, you function with pristine clarity. This is more than productivity advice. It is a form of cognitive engineering. Chapter 3. Your brain's hidden reset button. Your brain operates on an inherent rhythm that most people resist rather than harmonize with. Every 90 to 120 minutes, your brain naturally alternates between states of high focus and low focus. These are known as ultradian rhythms, and they occur whether you acknowledge them or not. Attempting to work against these rhythms is like constantly swimming against a current. Working in concert with them makes productivity feel natural. It is the difference between having a conversation with your brain and shouting commands at it. During your natural low-focus intervals, your brain is not malfunctioning. It is actively processing information. It consolidates memories, forms connections, and readies itself for the next period of high focus. Forcing concentration during these down cycles disrupts this vital background activity. The strategic rester becomes adept at interpreting their own internal rhythms. They recognize when their focus begins to fade and, instead of forcing themselves to continue, they embrace the natural recovery phase. This could involve taking a walk, doing some light stretching, or letting their mind wander for 10 to 20 minutes. This does not mean scrolling through social media, which hijacks the restoration process. It does not mean checking email, which keeps directed attention engaged. When their natural high-focus period resumes, they do not have to struggle to concentrate. Attention comes to them naturally. The work feels less like a chore because it is aligned with their brain's innate state. This is the hidden reset button in your brain. Utilizing it makes all other efforts easier. Chapter 4. The 7 Dimensions of Strategic Rest. Most people equate rest with sleep, which is as limited as equating nutrition with breakfast. There are 7 distinct categories of rest that your body and mind require, and you're likely experiencing only one. This deficiency explains why you can sleep for 8 hours and still feel exhausted. Physical rest encompasses both passive forms like sleeping and napping, and active forms such as yoga, stretching, or massage. Mental rest involves creating systematic breaks from cognitive exertion while remaining alert. Sensory rest is the practice of diminishing overwhelming input from lights, sounds, and digital screens. Emotional rest requires stepping back from the pressure of managing the emotions of others and meeting social expectations. Social rest involves distinguishing between relationships that energize you and those that deplete you, then wisely managing your social energy. Creative rest means engaging with beauty, nature, and inspiring activities to refresh your capacity for innovation. Spiritual rest connects you to a sense of meaning and purpose through practices that go beyond daily tasks. This is like having 7 different fuel types for 7 different engines within you. The strategic rester does not just rest more intensely. They rest more intelligently by pinpointing which type of rest they truly need. If you feel mentally clouded, you require mental rest, not additional sleep. If you feel emotionally drained, you need social and emotional rest, not creative pursuits. When you align the correct form of rest with your specific deficit, recovery becomes precise and potent. Chapter 5. Active Recovery. The Elite Athlete's Secret. Here is a concept that may challenge your assumptions. Elite athletes frequently train for fewer hours than their sub-elite counterparts. The key difference is not found in their training regimens, but in their recovery methods. While average athletes believe recovery means total inactivity, elite athletes engage in active recovery. This involves low-intensity activities that enhance specific abilities while simultaneously restoring energy. Active recovery might be gentle yoga following intense mental work, a walking meeting after long hours of sitting, or engaging in completely different cognitive tasks to rest overused mental faculties. It functions like cross-training for your brain. The principle is straightforward. Instead of ceasing all activity during a rest period, you shift to activities that replenish what you have used while gently engaging different systems. If you have been performing focused analytical work, active recovery could involve creative tasks, social engagement, or physical movement. If you have spent your day in meetings, active recovery might consist of solitary, focused work or time in nature. The transformative effect occurs because you are not merely halting the depletion of resources, you're actively rebuilding your capacity in that specific area. Your brain receives the restoration it needs while remaining engaged and alert. This is the reason elite performers appear to possess boundless energy. They are not superhuman. They have simply mastered the art of restoration without a complete shutdown. When you comprehend active recovery, rest ceases to feel like wasted time and begins to feel like strategic preparation for your next peak performance. Chapter 6: Flow State Protection. Here is the most counterintuitive lesson you will learn today. The most effective way to sustain peak performance is to interrupt it strategically. Most people believe that once you enter a flow state, that magical condition where everything feels effortless, you should continue until it naturally subsides. However, elite performers understand a different truth. Flow states are finite resources that can be deliberately preserved and prolonged. Flow is comparable to a high-performance engine. It operates best with proper maintenance, not when it is constantly pushed to its limits. The secret is to employ micro-recovery periods within the flow state itself, using brief 30-second to 2-minute breaks that sustain the state rather than shatter it. This could mean closing your eyes and taking 3 deep breaths, performing a quick physical reset, or simply pausing to acknowledge your progress. These micro-recoveries act as checkpoints that prevent the slow erosion of focus and creativity that occurs during prolonged periods of peak performance. Instead of riding the wave of flow until it crashes, you're expertly surfing it, making small adjustments to maintain balance and momentum. The outcome is flow states that can last for hours instead of minutes, and an increased ability to access flow on demand. The strategic rester does not just achieve flow. They maintain it. They do not just perform at their peak. They extend that peak. This degree of performance control is what separates good performers from great ones, and great performers from legendary ones. Chapter 7: The Productivity Paradox. The most productive action you can take at this moment might be to do absolutely nothing. A phenomenon known as the productivity paradox exists. Short periods of rest actually improve rather than disrupt states of peak performance. Scientists have confirmed that strategic breaks do not subtract time from productivity. They multiply the value of the time that remains. The reason this works is that your brain's performance follows a curve, not a straight line. Without breaks, performance steadily decreases over the course of the day. With strategic breaks, each work period begins with renewed energy, allowing you to maintain peak performance for longer stretches. It is the difference between a marathon runner who paces themselves and one who attempts to sprint the entire race. The key is to realize that productivity is not measured by time spent working. It is measured by the value created per unit of time. A single hour of peak performance work can often generate more value than 4 hours of depleted, strenuous effort. The strategic rester optimizes for the quality of their output, not the quantity of their input. They understand that taking 5 calculated breaks can lead to work that would take others twice as long to finish. Instead of feeling guilty about resting, you begin to see it as a multiplier for productivity. Instead of gauging success by hours logged, you gauge it by the impact you create. While your colleagues are burning out from overwork, you are consistently delivering exceptional results because you have learned to work in harmony with your biology, not against it. Chapter 8: Digital Detox Without the Drama. You do not need to discard your phone to reap the rewards of digital rest. The issue is not the technology itself, but our approach to using it. Most advice on digital detoxes treats technology as an addiction requiring total abstinence, which is unsustainable in our connected world. The strategic rester engages in intentional digital rest, creating deliberate breaks from connectivity without going completely offline. This is like becoming fluent in 2 languages, proficient in both connected and disconnected states. Begin with notification fasting. These are specific periods when you disable all non-essential alerts. Your brain requires uninterrupted time for processing, and constant notifications prevent the deep restoration that occurs during genuine rest. Establish tech-free zones in your home and your schedule. These are physical and temporal spaces completely devoid of digital devices. The goal is not to reject technology, but to create contrast so your nervous system can fully downregulate. The key is mindful re-engagement. When you return to your devices after a rest period, do so with conscious intent rather than compulsion. Have a specific purpose, use the device for that purpose, and then disconnect again. This strategy allows you to enjoy all the benefits of digital connection while safeguarding your cognitive resources from constant drain. You are not anti-technology, you are pro-intentionality. This focus makes you formidable in a world where many have lost command of their own attention. Chapter 9. Building your rest architecture. Most people approach their rest with the same lack of strategy as they approach their work, and they achieve similarly poor outcomes. The strategic rester does not just rest more. They engineer superior systems for rest. This involves designing physical environments, temporal structures, and social supports that make effective rest automatic instead of effortful. Your physical space should actively encourage rest, not merely permit it. This could involve optimizing lighting to support your circadian rhythm, creating dedicated areas for different types of rest, or removing digital distractions from your bedroom. Your environment should do half the work of resting for you. Temporal architecture involves structuring your schedule to support your rest practices rather than conflict with them. This includes protecting the transition times between activities, scheduling demanding tasks during your natural high-energy periods, and building buffer time around important rest periods. Social architecture is the practice of curating relationships and communities that reinforce your rest practices instead of undermining them. Certain people energize you, while others deplete you. The strategic rester is deliberate about their social energy expenditure and recovery. Create rest rituals, which are meaningful practices that ease the transition into and out of restorative states. These rituals serve as signals to your nervous system that it is safe to downregulate and restore. When your rest architecture is well designed, effective rest becomes your default state, not something you must remember to do. When you master strategic rest, you do not just feel better. You function at levels that seem impossible to everyone else. The strategic rester possesses a competitive advantage that is invisible to most people. While others operate on depleted reserves, you operate on premium fuel. While they push through fatigue, you move through states of peak performance. This is not about laziness or working less. It is about being so strategically restored that your work feels effortless while yielding extraordinary results. The most formidable people are those who can perform at 100% because they know how to rest at 100%. You have learned to interpret your energy as an elite athlete interprets their body. You know which type of rest you need and when you need it. You understand how to sustain flow states, optimize recovery, and engineer peak performance through strategic restoration. Your colleagues will wonder how you remain so composed under pressure. Your friends will wonder how you possess so much energy. Your competition will wonder how you consistently outperform them while seeming so relaxed. The secret is that you have transformed rest from an accident into a skill. You have turned recovery into a competitive advantage. You have learned to rest so effectively that it makes you a formidable force. Welcome to a new plane of performance. Welcome to being dangerously well rested.